Okay, since the last video was recorded, the one on reports 2 to 4, I've actually modified the software a little bit and I've merged a couple of the reports. There was an anchor text contains target and anchor text contains source. I've now merged those into one report, anchor text contains, and I've done the same with the anchor text equals. There were two reports previously and they've now been merged. The reason they've been merged is that you can now drag columns around, and so having the two different reports is unnecessary. So let's have a look at report number 5, and this one checks to see if links on pages contain a certain amount, contain a certain text. So for example, if I type in Apple here, then it will find all the pages on my site where there's a link where the anchor text contains the word Apple, and that's derivatives of Apple as well, so it would be apples, even pineapple I think we'll find. So now what we've got is we've got the target URL, here's the anchor text that's found in the link, here's where that anchor text is pointing to, and here is the source, in other words the page that this anchor text is on. So on this page about potassium there is a link to my apples page using the anchor text apples. Now what you can do if you want, sometimes I like to have the source column first and the targets last. You can now drag this around so you can order the columns however you want, and that was the reason I've now merged the two reports, because previously there was one report that showed it this way around and one showed it the other way around with target first and source last. You can order by clicking on any of the columns. So what I always like to do, and I'm going to have my target first because I like to look down this column here while I'm doing this little check, order by anchor text, and make sure that anchor text is only used to link to a single URL. So Apple and apples is only ever linking to this URL and not any other URL. If you think about it, it makes sense, because you're trying to show your visitors with internal linking that, you know, if they want to learn about apples, this is the page they go to. They shouldn't find that a link with apples goes to one page on one web page, and on a different web page the same link will take them to a completely different URL. Why is that? The only reason you would have that is if you're trying to manipulate Google, and that's what Google will think as well. So anchor text that you use must only really be going to one URL. So Apple and apples always goes to my article on apples, and I can see that it does. Okay, this one's cancer fighting enzymes in pineapple, so it's found this one as well. I'm not really interested in that one here, but you can see they're all linking to the same one as well. And we've got pineapple and beetroot juice as well, radish apple juice. Just making sure they're all going to the same. Each individual anchor text is only going to a single URL. And there is a check we can do later, one of the other reports, which I'll show you. But that's the reason for this report. It's basically to find anchor texts that contain a certain word. If you know the exact word that you want to find, let's say you've let me have a look. Let me go to the next report, anchor text equals. Let's say I want to find only, I know this is an anchor text that I've used on the site. Let me make sure I spelt it right. Okay, and so I'm using this text, anchor text is actually anchor text equals. This hasn't changed yet to update the report. Okay, anchor text equals, and I must have spelt it wrong, so let me try that again. No, there's no A in there, I don't think. Let's have a look. Okay, here we go. So all this report does is returns all the URLs that link to another page on my site containing a specific anchor text, and this allows you to home in and only analyze one particular anchor text. And again, that anchor text should only link to one URL, which you can see it does in this first column, and I can reorder these again if I want to. I want source column first. This tells me the URL where that anchor text is pointing to that page. On this URL, that anchor text points to this page. Okay, so those are those two reports. It allows you to find anchor text that point to a URL, and you can check to make sure that URLs anchor text is consistently going to the same URLs. Okay, you can look at it another way. Let's suppose that you want to find anchor text to a particular page. So let's say I want to find all the anchor text that goes to my magnesium page, let's say. And that's what this gives me. It says here that we've got 38 links using this as the anchor text. Okay, and I can copy that if I want to and run a report to find out which pages link to there. I've also interestingly got 26 links using alt text and beats, which sounds a bit unusual. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see which pages are linking to my magnesium using this, URLs to a URL. I'm going to select my magnesium again, and this will tell me then which URLs are linking to this page, and it will give me the anchor text as well, so I can see where all those alt beats are coming from. It's certainly, the alt means it's an image, but it's an image linking to this page, and it seems like an awful lot, so we'll have a look. Before I leave this, if you know the URL, or you can't find it in the list and you've got a big long site, you can just go to your site, copy the URL and paste it in there instead, and if this is filled in here, then it'll use that one. You can see that this is the one that's currently selected here. Let's just run it and see. URLs to a URL. Let's go to the sort grid, and we can see here the anchor texts. I'm going to order by anchor text. So these are using the title. All of these pages here that link to my magnesium page are using the title of the page as the anchor text. Now that probably means it's in a related posts link. What would be nice would be if some of the pages were actually linking to this page with the word magnesium, and I can do that. I use the CI backlinks plugin. I can quickly make pages link to this magnesium site using words like magnesium and perhaps slightly longer phrases as well. Okay, here we have the tags. What I'm going to do is I'm going to order by URL because I want to have a look at something. Yeah, that's what I thought. For each tag, we've got two anchor texts linking to that magnesium page. We've got the alt beats and we've got the title. So on the insulin tag page, we've got alt beats and the title linking to that page. Now, it seems strange, but it now makes sense that I can see it's a tag page. If I load up the tag page, I'll show you what I mean. Okay, let me just bring it into view so you can see it. Let's go down till we find the beats. Is it going to be a photo of beats somewhere? Here we go. Now, what we can see is we've got this. This is the title of the article which we saw here, and we've got this image, which if I inspect this element in Google Chrome, that's F12 for Google Chrome, and I can inspect that element, I can see here that it's linking to my magnesium page there, and the alt text for this is alt equals beats. So that's what's happening on all of these tag pages. The article on magnesium is tagged with, for example, heart, immune system, insomnia, insulin, kidneys, and so on. So the link to that page is appearing on all those tag pages, and it's showing this featured image as well. What I would probably think about doing, just to remove the image links, is just to make sure that the featured image doesn't link to the page as well. So I just have the title link. But certainly this report also throws up another interesting thing which I've already touched upon, and that is the lack of anchor texts to this page. I would like to have any appearance of magnesium on the site, like this one here on the actual page. Well, actually not that page, because that is the magnesium page and I wouldn't want it linking to itself, but any occurrence of the word magnesium in the, the first occurrence of magnesium on the page, I would like linked to this page. So I'll actually will do that, but let's just go back and see what reports we've looked at. Okay, so we've looked at anchor text contains, anchor text equals, anchor text to a URL, and URLs to URL, so you can really hone in and find what's going on with your anchor text, where it's linking to, whether it's being used properly. So in the next report then, in the next video, we'll have a look at the next few, reports.